Welcome everyone to another video here with our mission, redefined mission, I probably should say, on our low-level Linux and other open source YouTube channel. Working subscribers know this already, working here for 25 years on our Linux distribution with a 10-year pause recently because the year of the desktop Linux never came. And so the last 3 years live here on YouTube, we worked on making our T2 system development environment, Linux supporting all the other 30 plus architectures here live on this channel. And I heard you. People tried it. Well, some people are impressed. We have some users and developers, totally amazing. But of course I hear you. Some people say, gosh, why is this stuff so difficult? I don't find it difficult. I grew up with DOS and then Linux. I grew up with Linux 2 or 2.0. 1996 or whatever that was, or maybe even 1 point whatever, the last. Anyway, my point is, I of course know this stuff, so my point is, stuff need to become easier, and open source shit just needs to freaking work. TM. I heard you, we will be working on this, which is as usual. Last year I delayed the release 6 months because there's always one more thing, like I saw that, fix that, I saw that, fix that, and this. We wanted to release in October, and recurring theme, time-based releases suck because you release with all the bugs and implementation deficiencies and marginalities. And again, we are approaching 6 months late. I also probably should say so multiple major things. The other takeaway is not only time-based releases suck, so release when shit works and when you're satisfied and so on, but also what was the other takeaway? Right. I think because I always said like should we like data, our AI bot should we release ISOs weekly, monthly, and I think the optimal release for our small or maybe even other major operating systems, the major release cycle for things like this, for things like us, whole operating systems, or like, okay, not all, not macOS, but for us, the optimal release schedule for us is probably 6 months. That is a lot of time to gather all the improvements and updates, right? Because it makes no sense to release an ISO next month when it's barely different. So shit needs to work. We need to get my own act and concentration together and focus on like make it just freaking work TM. And we will continue with this in a second. And like targeting major release like approximately every 6 months or like 6 to 12 months, or maybe like 9 months or something. It's probably like not every year, but a little bit faster, and maybe spit ISOs out like for one platform or maybe 2 or 3 to test Musel, like x86-64 for everyone to try at home, maybe some -Musel variant to keep this non-glibc Musel stuff tested, and maybe one other, maybe ARM64 stuff, just to have a little bit more cross-compiling coverage. Not more, so not like overloading ourselves and my compute infrastructure and bandwidth and stuff. So like maybe 3 test releases, architectures, like maybe monthly or automatically programmed when major stuff changes. Like if there's a glibc update, then when stuff settles and builds a little bit like then, like not weekly, not monthly, but like a flexible dynamic time frame of like when major changes, like a new Linux kernel, a new glibc, a new LVM cling, and so on. So stuff also, I apparently need to test some Rust stuff. I'm this week live from the office, not from the home office, summer office everywhere. So as usual, like you build some other, like you build on this SSD or Z and so on. And yes, I probably should have a better virtual machine build infrastructure working on that. But so coming back to this, also we want to skip, I should have actually skipped over this stupid whatever. This is probably some of our own, like our own T2, but that's not the point. So what is the topic of this video? The topic of this video is introduction, 4 minute 50 introduction. So the topic is, I had this on my to-do. So the next thing will be the installer. I had this, the major thing of people asking, they already often overwhelmed to partition their thing. It super sounds easy. And that's the stuff, right? Stuff that's traveled to me and you doesn't mean it's traveled for all the other 99% of the users out there in the internet. So that means the next, also concentrating on our like pro tip, sort you freaking to do, like have a freaking to do or professional bug database issue tracking thing, and like don't procrastinate and concentrate and work on like priorities, right? Sort your priorities, get your priorities straight. And what that means, like the major thing, and even for me, right, even I start to forget with all the 30 architecture variants. Sure, I remember Sun needs Spark, needs Sun partition table, Apple needs Apple partition table, but that is uses, no kidding, right? People on our Discord, like stuff doesn't build, it's like, yeah, have you formatted Sun partition table, have you? And then the new Sun systems, which I recently purchased, they even support GPT partitions, right? Which until recently Spark systems are. And so all the stuff we will make, so for that we will make in the installer, which we will work on in a second. I believe I probably made notes somewhere, like maybe in this to-do last night, yeah. So the variants, right? Even I forget, of course I know Apple partition table for PowerMix. But then even, what was it with IBM RS6K, right? The newest things, also probably GPT and so on. And also HPPA, right? Hewlett Packard Precision Architecture. I only recently got donations, like the last years here live on YouTube. And maybe it was those, and that is the stuff, right? Even I would need to read the freaking manual, right? And then there are very specific requirements to partition that and have your bootloader partition and so on. And even for Sun. So the point is, so what we will now automate is, we will have a code table, what other distributions also at times have, although very few other distributions support. Like most other distributions only hard code, like Intel Linux, like GPT, EFI, right? Which then only works on more than x86. So we have much more to deal with. Also like here, whatever, right? Although most I remember. And so it also makes my life easier, right? Otherwise I burn in ice. Also I have other vintage stuff coming, right? You write on an iMega 2 GB Jest drive to boot on your Spark systems, and it's like what was the partitioning stuff, right? And then while I wanted to prepare that here, like, yeah, topic for this year, not only microkernel and stuff, but also making or perfecting, sure, kinda what I've always done, but I also procrastinated a little bit, right? Like I got distracted of like, hey, that would be cool, that optimization, that, although granted, that stuff for me, right? I want my stuff optimized here, I want my stuff booting there, little, whatever the case might be, right? It's not really that much procrastination, but a little bit. Like, yeah, obviously you can't run a multi-million-dollar project without prioritizing. And so this will be the next thing in the installer, and we will do this. And so by preparing this, I just noticed, like I literally prepared a little bit for the live stream, as I often do. And what's not tested, recurring theme, right? What is not tested is broken. And so I just put it like, it always annoyed me that this bloody Siri console, and welcome everyone, is so bloody slow, which obviously like heck, it's a freaking 9,600 baud or 115,200. How do you pronounce it in American? 115? Yeah, 150,200. However you would want to say that. It's like, yeah, I just realized I implemented 3 years ago live on this channel. I implemented, like, previously you always had to enter that. It's of course also error prone. So even 3 years ago I perfected stuff. It's like 3 years later, yeah, what's not tested is broken, right? I just booted with TTY S0 11 115,100. It's like, yeah, of course it, like, yeah. So yeah, let's fix that first. And yeah, but previously, right, YouTube discussions on my main channel, perfect codes, like, yeah, recurring theme. If you YOLO shit without test suite, like even myself, it's like 3 years later, like, bug, right? Doesn't work. So let's remove that somewhere, and it's also why I actually rebuild that here. Cheers. Welcome everyone. What did you request? Did you request the automated partitioning that might be possible, or other stuff? So target generic, where would that be? Is that in? That should be in the shared install. 0 frames. I just need to keep an eye out here on the failing internet. So let me think. Is that maybe this enet? Console. Actually, ironically, I believe we could actually remove this to-do like 15 years ago. I added here klog whatever, but nowadays we edit that in the kernel, right? So I guess we can actually remove that. And by the way, we have 2023, just in case we could already update that. So console, no. Oh, then it is in the second stage. Is it that in it? Then it's probably here. I only wonder, which by the way, it's super annoying. It's also like why is this boot stuff not more amazing? And if you tune already, it would be amazing if you share, like, and subscribe. Like, why is this not amazing? Why is like the default QEMU with the default grub on the serial console? Why is that such a hard to edit scrolling? Maybe it's like blind typing. Okay, this is wrong. Here probably it's like 2023 and you need to blind type on your like why I get it, like old open firmware, every standard sucked and every implementation sucked, but could this open hackware, whatever open firmware BIOS thing and grub, could this not play a little bit nicer together? But yeah, I mean, yeah, probably it's difficult and all the standards suck and whatever, but anyway, it would be nice if it would somehow work a little bit better. All does it, I mean, we could, what would be another about standard baud, right, like 56,000 or 57, yes, this way. It's, I'm not sure if every, you never know. 3.8, ah shit, my numpad lock thing wasn't on. 38,400, 38, is this at the right place? Apparently, let's hope for the best. Because I'm, oh wait, does it? I know it, no, I think it should require one enter. Maybe I pressed enter while I was, okay, TTY is 0. The question is, does it, I think it feels much faster. I mean, it should feel much faster, right? And I did this obviously because we need to have quite some stuff to test. Yeah, I believe this is like, yeah, obviously, I mean, it's like probably 4 times faster. It's like, yeah. And so that is also the tiny win-win, right? Of wondering why I do this. Not only, of course, I want more market share, right? Again, previous mission target top 10 Linux distribution would be amazing at the end of the year, maybe. Share, like, and subscribe. But also for my own quality of life improvements. Because otherwise I might do that in deployment and other stuff, like the win-win here of improving our stuff so that it's more bug-free. So TTYs are here. Default, where is the default TTYs? TTY diff, so we grab this out of console. So probably we do here TTY diffs. How does it work? We grab console. What is in, what does it return? We somehow, that is an automatic detection. I see. Okay, so the actual thing is here, and that is a fallback. So yeah. I slightly wonder, should we change that? We should always have proc command line, shouldn't we? I mean, it's like, do we need to optimize that? Because optimize that would be something like that. Is it worth to change that? I believe that should be that is reading a so the only problem is this errors out if proc command line doesn't exist. Not really sure if it's verse 2. Is it? It's not even. No, it's one character shorter. Whatever. So the real bug fix. I mean, theoretically, my stuff was never change random stuff, right? But then ask what cockpit panel. Is it possible to add a cockpit panel to T2? What precisely do you mean with that? Do you mean the problem is we intentionally shell scripted it? I mean, sure, we in the like very long term distant future we could rewrite this. I mean, as low tech as you could call it, it is so flexible to script stuff together, right? If you mean some huge UI or web view, the problem is a lot of like lots of systems we need to install over serial or Ethernet or console, and even on other mainstream stuff like even Spark or HPP Arisk, often graphic is broken, buggy and whatnot, and it's like if we would have more colorful web and like you wouldn't want to. I mean, we often don't even have a browser, right? So a web UI after. So the problem is I don't really personally want to develop some web stuff. There are of course ready-made things. So I mean, you could always like patches welcome if you want to add optional stuff. Patches welcome. Or is it some? I mean, yeah. I mean, you could like maybe install T2 on a virtual machine and try package that. If this is some known product, then by all means send some patches. So maybe we make this in a second line here and then TTYV. So this is removing everything console equal longest match until there and then space. And so we need both. So we need space and I believe, so the question is, can we? So that is also why I run that there actually. So this is why then, why I find this convenient. I mean, I could do this in a running system, but I didn't boot with console things. So let's remove the leading stuff and then we can experiment TTY diffs. And there are no more arcs. But yeah, what I wanted to try is does this work if we space alt graph space or comma? Does that work? Maybe it works. We can manually add stuff to test, like root equals whatever. Hey, that works. Cool. So, and that is also why I do this in shell and not C, right? And ironically, this stuff was initially like Claire of Rock Linux creator fame wrote this in shell, and I converted that in like probably 2003 or so, like 20 years ago. I converted this to shell and like go back in history and read this and see so much more annoying, so much cleaner, and yeah, like have you second stage init stuff, segmentation fault for string parsing, right? One improvement a day keeps doctors away. What's that stuff is building as this cargo might potentially fail. So then the real stuff, and so also it's not even partitioning. So right, so the real stuff I wanted to do, that was only the recurring win-win of like, hey, stuff wasn't tested, doesn't build. It doesn't work. So we also have file systems, so this automated partitioning stuff also would need to log file systems. So here we could support any, but HPP Arisk, I would even need to, like, this was Palo, and we need like previously X2, but until recently we need X3, and where was it? In some Bootstrap partition. I'm not even like Bootstrap, Or was it, can we use boot? I forgot. And they're using like continuation of like even, I don't remember. PowerPC, we need and so this is the point of this should create, or like IBM, I don't remember, I believe. How did this boot? So, I think previously this was some prep partition. I think, I'm not even sure if grub2 supports it. I think I mean, I have this like previous video, right? If you wanna, if you have a rainy day or anyway wanna learn more, right? I have 100 live streams there in the archived library, including an IBM B50, 360 megahertz. I have it behind me. I will also soon redecorate with stuff in the background. Previous videos. The only super annoying thing is I learned the hard way 3 years ago that this somehow has some memory mapping. Although it has, for that day, it has a whopping 640 megabyte or whatever crazy amount, or whatever it was, 726, 640. Huge, like gigantic amount of memory. But there's some, whatever, open firmware memory mapping marginalities so that it actually doesn't support loading whatever larger than 6 megabyte, of what was super annoying for testing. Also, people agree Shell is nicer than C for this stuff, would prefer something like Lua. Yeah, Python not, or Rust. The thing is, I'm actually a huge fan of Lua, at least Lua 5.1. The later Lua versions added too much random stuff and integer floating point number and whatnot. That's I'm not a fan of, but we even have some Lua stuff here for our config acceleration stuff. But Shell is much more expression rich, right? Even for Lua, you would need modules to test file existence and so on, and even reading whole files, like what you have in like here, reading a file in Lua would be IO open, read all, close or garbage collect and stuff. And yeah, even that stuff is like 3 times smaller than Lua, which, yeah. But a more statically typed and less error prone shells are like a more modern. Sure, there is T, C, and Z shell and stuff. Anyway, so Apple part and bootstrap partition. So what we would need is we need to we don't have Arch. Okay, we have uname. Okay, we can uname M for machine, not to add Arch because we have a minimal second stage here, so obviously wouldn't want to make this much larger. So what we need to do is we need uname M. I'm just brainstorming here, and then we also need some variants. So for Spark, that would be type, so grab type. And so we would need to reduce that. So for others, that's not always type, but let's document that. So for here, because we have that variant here, we also have other MIPS SGI types. I would need to boot my SGI for that. And so what we will do is we will uname M and then case Z. So basically, and match additional. So that would be, I mean, we could do that already. What would that be in? So I also have PowerPC here. And let's PowerPC 64 ISO that, maybe with graphics. Maybe it works or it doesn't. Not sure which machine is the default. Maybe not the right one. We did PowerPC, that is 64. We can do Mac 99, I believe. ideally we want automatically unit test that, or that didn't. What is that complaining about? That is interesting. Maybe that is something that someone actually complained about already. Interesting. Didn't expect this to reproduce on QEMU. Do I have nothing like? Wonder if, but that's good to know that this reproduces in QEMU. Maybe some init ID generation. I had a local change for MIP64 that I actually knew didn't work for architecture, so maybe a local change broke that. And then PowerPC 32 stuff. Did I change that already, or is it loading still? Oh, this is actually... But this is also a recurring reminder that you want a unit testing, right? What you didn't test is broken, and it's like you have some local change for MIPS, and then it breaks other architectures. So yeah, that's still, where is he? Forgot there. Let's hope that works. This, I believe some should have. Okay, that looks better. Just another to-do item. Need to check what's going on with PowerPC. So, okay, here you have, wait, this is old word? You want to freaking tell me that's an old? That is crazy. An old world Mac, that is, does it even boot with Stone? Does it even boot with Grub? Not even sure. I think this had implementation deficiencies with Yaboot even. Anyway, so yeah, okay, this is platform. So that is here. And that's a little bit silly that all the architectures used other names in CPU info, right? It's, you would believe in the 90s when they ported Linux, all the architectures would be the same, but no, some use. Do they have type here? No, they don't. Yeah. Then, so the problem is, can we script? So the you can, and that's the next thing. I'm not sure. So probably fdisk you can't script that nicely because it might surprise you with unexpected questions of you want to clear that signature and that and whatnot. So maybe we use wipe. Wait, does it do something or does it not do? Why does it not do something? Maybe it needed, does it all? Be careful. So this is a garbage VM, so, that worked. Good. So we probably should do that. I mean, obviously there will be a warning like, hey, you want to destroy all your data and stuff and no warranty and whatnot. And have freaking backups. So all data will be lost. To continue. And then wipefs-a on the device to avoid all unexpected questions like dev. We probably want to script also for some. Yeah, we don't have. We don't have single partition in our stone. What was it, init or was it initialized partition map? Yeah. Oh darn, this even asks some stupid shit. Okay, this even ones. So the question is, yeah, it's a little bit error prone. And this will be implementations. Yeah, it's thinking, can you stop thinking here? So probably most tutorials for embedded stuff use sfdisk scripting. Like if you're wondering why most tutorials script with sfdisk, that is why. I wanted to quit. Okay, I did quit. The question is fdisk. It's still whining about bloody signatures? Are you kidding me? I thought we wiped all of them. So this is an annoying thing, this automation. Did I write this? Maybe not. No, I wrote it. What does macfdisk do now? Interesting. So we need bootstrap. First block, I believe that was 2p, right? And yeah, I guess. So the other questions would be, so what we need to automate is, we need to automate, so per platform, so do we need this? We need to see, and then uname and some grep stuff. And then this should lock, so either, and so that is an annoying thing, usually sfdisk, I guess. Do they probably not support? Fdisk does. Yeah, so this still does not support Apple partitions, which is why we use this bloody macfdisk there. And so we probably need to hardcode that for some, like maybe we can use some like generic structure, or like maybe in the beginning reuse directly the sfdisk syntax. And like for Mac, Power Mac, hardcode that with macfdisk. With most others with sfdisk syntax, that probably covers most. Let's see if, is it the same for G here? Unsupported command, oh shit, is this even, you kidding me, that really has other, you can't make this stuff up. What are the commands? So I would need to read the freaking manual and Google that myself. Since version sfdisk supports, yeah, I know that. Change the partition type with non-specified principal partition type. Part type. Okay, we can apparently hexadecimal for or UID for GPT. Okay, I wanted the whole label type. Yeah. So yeah. And we need, and so this is obviously takes hours, right? And then plus testing, collecting all the stuff, plus testing and scripting. And then we also need to hard code some partition types for boot and EFI partitions, and also ask, we probably want to ask, something of that sort. And we probably want to ask one question where possible, or like two. And that's also the thing, right? How much stuff? I mean, in the beginning, we can just straightforward one partition. But very theoretically, I believe I mean, we don't really need to show the user what will be created. I think a normal user doesn't really want to know this platform needs that kind of partition. So I guess that's probably pointless. The only thing is like erase all your data. Like maybe we should erase all data on device def and I mean if you I don't know, and the perfect wording for this kind of lawyer text is always a little bit difficult for developers to come up with. The only question we probably want to ask is where possible. So maybe we do this per architecture, because some architectures will not be able to boot on all combinations. But the question would be classic. Oops, classic. Thick, classic. Do we maybe not classic, plain partition, plain partitions. Yeah, I mean we will. So this will only create. Do we need to call this like? Plain partition LVM2 logical volume, or do we call this LVM, logical volume management volume? It's also always a thing like making this consistent with title case. It's of course like title case or not, like should we like title case, or I don't know, I always leave in the comments below. Maybe I should. I mean, I guess most of the industry often like plain English except Apple title case, but leave in the comments below. And so I probably wouldn't. All right, we actually mostly need swap, right? Do we? I guess this probably usually should create a swap space. Good question. I guess we should create this, right? I mean, if you really don't want that, then don't use it or delete it later. And the other thing would be encrypted. So I guess I don't really want to make too many options, because it's always testing all this stuff. I'm kind of tempted to only, or because, and like LVM partitions on like our new T2 special flavor of having all those volumes encrypted has the benefit of encrypted swap and suspending. It's kind of like, I guess if you can afford some percentage of overhead, you probably want encrypted LVM. Maybe we would make this actually, you know what? Maybe we make this, because we usually want 2 or 3. Now that I think about this, and then it's like root and swap. So then it's plural and encrypted volumes. So I'm kind of tempted not to offer, like if you want it differently, then do it yourself, I guess. But leave in the comments below. And so I guess we could, like internally, like maybe plain LVM. It should be maybe like internal identifiers, because I would then program it to remove it where it's not supported, like on, how did I do this on the SGI Octane? We boot from XFS. I mean, if you have a boot volume, yeah, if you make boot like XFS or something, I actually have my SGI Octane encrypted. I believe the latest edition that I ever did on the SGI Octane. And yeah, that is the thing, we're supporting all the stuff on all the vintage and retro stuff. So yeah, that would be the stuff. I mean, obviously, initially I only I start with that and that at this later. Pro tip: do it in steps, iterations, and commit early and often. As disk partition tags, let's test that, and then we probably, hey, it's not even 1 hour. It kind of feels like 1 hour. Yeah, command examples too, geek stuff, nothing like. So we want what is that? Following types that you can specify. I want just freaking create, verify. No, I want freaking display. No, I believe you can reuse the stump stuff. I guess the syntax was, as far as I remember. SF disk dump should probably, should this not be, was this not, oh, it can do JSON. Can it also read JSON? I thought once upon a time, yeah, it can be just restored with this dump. Use the dump option to save. Probably should be the same format, shouldn't it? Yeah. So the only thing, there is a label. So I would guess I would hope it wouldn't need all. What I wouldn't really want to use that format here. Create a new partition from a text file, non-interactive mode. You can, so this apparently is then a comment like the device. If they write your beauty as, you can use that dump. Then it's probably ignoring that. So text the dump is shown, previous example above. No. SGF describe. The format is a little bit annoying. Yeah. What is the interactive SF disk? Yada yada yada, block device, whatever. Oh, so many freaking details. All I wanted. Yeah, but that's yeah, details. The annoying stuff I do later. Why is this? We need Rust now. Thank you very much. So I need to refix Rust. I believe in a previous live stream we had already seen that we had some new Rust bootstrapping marginalities, as the usual. I mean, that's the only thing why I would want weekly test builds. How do we do that? That is the only reason why would my data AI bot build weekly ISOs that I know when shit broke, because now I don't know which change or Rust change broke Rust Bootstrap. Is the man page better than... does not create a standard system partition for SGI Sun labels like fdisk does. It's necessary to explicitly create all partitions, including whodisk system partitions. Okay, that sucks a little bit. I wonder if we can script fdisk nonetheless. Maybe we can do a mix. Yeah, and that is the implementation. I mean, as versatile and complex as fdisk is, I only wish somehow I wish, I mean, sure, you can dump, restore, and all the interactive, non-interactive stuff, but somehow it's a little bit fragile. Somewhat. Although, yeah, partition stuff is complex and error-prone. SFDisk does not create partition table without partitions by default. Lines with partitions are expected in the script by default. The empty partition table has to be explicitly requested by label. Without any partitions, for example, label GPT creates empty GPT partition table. Note that the append disables this feature. Okay, so label alone would create that. So far, what do we have right now? Right now we have, let's see what, echo label. Does it do sun? Label sfdisk. Which keyboard layout are this? Sfdisk diff sd a sun altered. Okay, that looks like it does it. Okay, amazing. Yeah, just the whole disk partition. Yeah, I mean, sure, we could script this, not the end of the world. Okay, so far so good. So yeah, we would fill some data with that, depending on what you choose. Either LVM partitions. So the only thing we would, on top of that, need to script all the LVM stuff. Yeah. What everything we do for success and your satisfaction. Why does this fail? Okay, this is new. That might explain why it was reported that maybe that is the reason why we didn't have that before. So only constant exchange and regression. It's amazing. So they apparently really changed that for just installing stuff. I mean, we probably could. Yeah, okay. 2023, even installing CA certificates is error prone. Yeah, so the question for that would be something along the lines, and then we are approaching 1 hour. Our magical YouTube 1 hour mark. Stone. Oh, it's already freaking. What time is it even? Oh, 7 already. 7 p.m. or how we Europeans call it, 19 o'clock. We would have partition here, partition, and we would have a new where is the yeah, somewhere. Edit partition table. So that is the current default. And we would make that like depending on the platform. So actually we can do that once here. Like detect platform once. Actually, we can start doing that. So that would be platform equals uname m. Actually, I don't really probably need those. And then maybe we allow lists, but we need to see later because we need some mechanism to not offer that if we have an unsupported platform. So probably what we probably want to do is, what would x86 be? Actually, we can test it. Okay, x86, so it's probably safer to explicitly list all that we support, then we can at the end clear that, at least for now. For the reason then we can simply, this will error out, we need a, oops, we actually need, what was this? This was, I believe, platform. Maybe there is a sysfs thing. I guess scrapping all of this stuff will be rather disastrous to grab all. Also, do we have grab? Oh, we have. Did I find you? A little bit, no. Okay, it's not that as disastrous as I thought. Okay, this is all standard error. I wonder if will this terminate or will this? Now let's see. Because if we have a file that would make it easier, okay, we apparently don't necessarily have a nice file otherwise, because we need to remove all the colon spacing stuff. The question is, did we have platform? We could do something like that. Not to custom grab in every platform, so we could like share this code. Because it's platform 2 or... So that was grep. Yeah. This is why some Europeans actually use US keyboards. So plot type in the hope that this often works, and then we only need to... I mean, it's maybe a little bit error prone. Leave in the comments below. Because we also need platform equals... I'm sorry, I messed this up. Because we also need to remove any trailing space, leading. I hate switching. I'm used to the ISO keyboard, but like switch, like if you have US layout there, maybe I shouldn't boot QEMUs. Also, I believe ISO often in grub doesn't work the most amazing stuff. Maybe. Okay, Sebastian writes, use Rust everywhere nowadays. Yeah, but that becomes, I mean, in Rust it becomes hard to read, follow. I mean, like, seriously, I get where you're coming from. Memory safety, I advertised, promoted that for 20 years already, although 20 years ago in C, better than C++, better than C. Nowadays, of course, Rust and so on. But to be honest, maintaining like this stuff, like in like Rust, the code will likely 10, if not 20 times as verbose, right? Like if we have 1,000 lines of installer, then we have easily 10, actually I would say, like if you write something as versatile and flexible as this in like pure Rust, and we have, what did I say? Did I say 10? So actually, okay, this will be more than 1,000 lines. Actually, how many lines do we have here already? 300. I mean, like, if we, for this flexible, most simple flexible stuff, like 5,000 lines in the end, maybe, then you have easily, yeah, 50,000 lines or more of harder to read and follow and debug Rust code, in my opinion. But go ahead, write an installer in Rust and tell me how that is going. So, platform 2, and we want to remove all trailing slash stuff. Let's say we want trailing, leading. What was the hash on a US keyboard? Everything actually. This are, you see, this is why we test that, as this are tabs. This doesn't match tabs, so did we are in the space. So, wait, power Mac. So, I guess we use it as it. That would be power C, power PC, so that would be platform equals platform. And so the reason is we need multiple of those because actually we could, what was, so that was Spark, right? I mean, you know what, let's make that already PowerPC or Spark. Then we have already some covered. MIPS we need to test, so I guess we only allow list here what we test. And what is, I believe, so the only issue is with 386. Even here we need that actually. We need to determine the EFI runtime. So that is x86, so either everything 86, I guess that should work. Or x86-64. And you know what? I guess we even for RISC, for example, for RISC-V, we probably don't want to offer that if it's not EFI, because otherwise we wouldn't know what kind of special U-boot partitions or whatever that platform needs. So I guess maybe even a global EFI check. It's some this firmware EFI, I guess. Like if that exists, that probably should be enough, I would guess. And then we can, the point of this is to reuse that also, so that would be if that exists, then platform EFI also. Very theoretically we could, do I have an x86 here? But I guess I ignore that for now. For example, the previous video OLPC has open firmware on x86, so we ignore that for now. So what we would do here then is if EFI, if platform EFI, then we have, actually, you know what, we could set this to EFI just for the fun of it. Maybe we can sometimes simply substitute it then here already. We don't always, in shell, we don't always need to use integer booleans. It doesn't really matter too much, but we could make this potentially more ready for some future use. So EFI, I believe that should work. Yeah. And focus. EFI, otherwise PC. And platform EFI, PC. And many others. So for example, this one we could group here all, like actually we could group that here, starting with ARM. I guess any ARM, that should work for now, any RISC-V, but only if EFI. So if that is platform EFI, otherwise clear that, so that the code below would then not offer automatic partitioning. So platform that, platform like vanilla platform, platform 2. If exists EFI, then that, then case platform. Then ARM RISC-V. What else do we have? EFI 4, IA60. IA64. Although that should always be EFI. Oh wait, what? I'm stuck. IA64 ARM. IA64 RISC-60. Where else do we have EFI? I guess that are the major ones. ARM, IA65, so Sun, so that would be Spark. Nothing for now, but to do Sun 4V with GPT. That allows for a little bit more flexible grub2 installation usage. Sebastian says, not Rust for everything, just for big things. I mean, I agree on the other hand that this is you could even say that is prototyping, although I kinda, after 20 years, I'm sure of the limitations, but I still like this as quickly as you can produce code that doesn't segmentation fault you in shell, right? And mostly does the right thing. Especially after some testing, it will do the right thing. I'm totally aware that nowadays a graphical installer would be amazing just for... The irony is like it's probably 90+% of our target audience, just the 10% are 90% of the platforms, right? From various ARM RISC-V stuff. Even on the RISC-V unmatched previous video, you would not have graphical output unless you add a supported VGA card, which are not even that many. And not to mention even QEMU. If you leave in the comments below if there's a combination of Spark. I tried, so I believe Spark 64 does not give you a Linux frame buffer in QEMU, and so on, right? Not even to mention other exotic real hardware. Spark 64, you may not have a frame buffer on certain PVR 3000, whatever, 3D labs and whatnot. So, but I probably should, like maybe for the microkernel that I also want to, my other dream Vaporware project, maybe I should actually try to write a really graphical installer for that. It's just somehow not, with all the architectures, the primary audio, or like, that's crazy. You can't even say percentage of covering of most users, because even if most users run AMD 64 and would profit from a graphical installer, it's still 90% of the use, 90% of the users, but not 90% of the, only 10% of the use cases, if that makes sense. Hey, but Sebastian says, but don't work great. Happy to hear that. I'm aware of the implementation deficiencies. I'm somewhat here this year to polish it, right? In this, like this year of making stuff more usable. Anyway, so yeah, to do this, what else are we missing here? We have, you know what, I probably have, in this 1 hour we built this system, amazing. Ryzen 7950X, welcome to the future. Target, actually we could simply ls the configs. Okay, most of the stuff, so yeah, for most, actually alpha, what is alpha doing? Actually, I believe alpha we can partitioning, what is, oh, this is also a typo. Okay, lots of stuff will not have an installer. I will not have a partitioning. So alpha, what was alpha using? Okay, this stuff we don't partition. You see so many things where we will not have a partitioning default thing, long out, whatever. Motor 68K, what would... So yeah, we're ignoring that for now, whatever. Okay, this is actually, I guess I covered most, whatever S390 is booting with. Actually interesting, this are actually all over, yeah, 30 architectures and who knows what they used to boot. So Alpha. Alpha, I guess Alpha is using some PC-based partition, whatever. I believe we need to use ALO, right? To do whatever ALO. ALO? What is the bootloader name? Packages boot ALO? A-boot. A-boot, of course it's A-boot. How could I forget that? I believe we even have a setup for that. I think I've done that last year in some emulator, maybe even QEMU. Oh, by the way, I still need an... If you don't forget to share, like, subscribe, right? Patreon, YouTube membership, GoFundMe. And also I still need 2 platforms, right? I, with between SGOctane, UltraSpark and stuff, I have not yet all, so I still need, like, if you have the stuff and want to donate either monetarily or if you have some stuff standing around, I would still need a DEC Alpha and IA64 to test all the stuff on Military. A-boot. Ah, darn, I forgot. So yeah, basically we are at the end, right? 1 hour live stream, we're already over that, and... Oh wait, this doesn't have a stone module? Interesting. Nothing like a win-win of discovering stuff you still need to do. A-boot stone module. Where have I been? Oh, right. Nothing like at the end of the last stream getting lost in that. Alpha, I believe, yeah, I need to read this. What, maybe some special boot partition, whatever. Yeah, that's it for this video. We did lots of stuff. Wait, we can, last but not least, we can test our new, I believe that should create ISO Spark 6432. Oops. Ah, what? Maybe lost in Unicode model. Always when you press some. What have I done? All right. And then our fresh ISO from here. And now the blind editing again. Either this or this. Let's try, let's go full 80 speed. And also, by the way, many people didn't know that Serial Console stuff has many of those support optional arguments, like baud rate, and it looks like that probably, unsurprisingly, worked. So that was target. Actually, I believe we don't want to use our commit script because it adds a copyright header, and I intentionally have less copyright header there. bit smaller just because. I believe we always should have proc and we always should have command line. I mean, if this, I would not think any Linux kernel ever had that, didn't have that. Maybe Linux kernel 0 or 1 or whatever. But so yeah, rootfs, not like we would support those anytime soon anymore. Fixed. Like how do they call that? Arguments? Options. Fixed, or is it? I mean, yeah, it's fixed or improved. I could, so many polls I could do on my Moment channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Fixed chat. Installer, best with double L, although I think there another hair or crumb has fallen in my Sun Type 5 keyboard. I probably need to open that, and I have the feeling somewhere there also my... Oh, does it work again? Looks like it work again. Or did I blow there recently into it? Anyway, because or was it one of those wasn't working properly, but now it does. Anyway, so that is the downside of this membrane stuff, right? If there is one hair or dust crumb, then bloody membrane doesn't work anymore. Happened already 2 times over, like massive YouTube live streaming, and 2 times in 3 years had to clean this stuff. Fixed shared installer target to remove optional console options. I guess that is good enough. And I guess we could removed. I believe something of that sort would be enough. Anyway, that's it then for this live stream. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. As always, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Super. Thank YouTube membership. And I hope to see you soon for the next videos and live streams and improved installer to come.